88 competitive matches, 2 defeats. That is the Estadio Azteca. No nation has ever beaten Mexico in a World Cup game on this ground, not once across 3 home tournaments in 56 years. Now England have walked into this trap at 7,000 feet, and they must become the first or face elimination. But everything about this stadium says they won't. Numbers alone tell the story of why the Azteca is football's most forbidding ground. Since opening its gates in 1966, the stadium has witnessed Mexico lose just 2 times in 88 competitive matches, a record that stands unmatched anywhere in world football. Of those contests, Mexico have claimed victory in 69, turning the Azteca into a stronghold where visiting teams rarely leave with anything but defeat. The venue itself sits at 2,240 meters above sea level, the highest of any stadium chosen for the 2026 World Cup. That altitude is not a mere statistic, it's a physical barrier. The air is thin, oxygen is scarce, and every sprint, every recovery comes at a greater cost than at sea level. But it's on the World Cup stage that the Azteca's aura becomes truly untouchable. Across the 1970, 1986, and 2026 tournaments, Mexico have played 10 World Cup matches on this field. They have not lost a single one. 8 wins, 2 draws, no opponent has ever walked away with a victory. No other nation can claim an unbeaten World Cup streak of this length at a single stadium. For over half a century, the Azteca has been where dreams of triumph fade for visiting giants. The numbers are not myth or legend. They are the unyielding reality that England now faces. Mexico's performance at this World Cup has moved beyond reputation and into rare territory. 4 matches played, 4 wins, and not a single goal conceded. No other team in the tournament can claim that kind of perfection. In fact, only 3 other sides in World Cup history have ever managed to win their first 4 matches without letting in a goal. This is not a squad simply buoyed by the crowd or history. It is a team operating with precision and confidence on the pitch. The defense is organized and disciplined, the midfield calm and in sync, and every player seems to understand the demands of the Azteca's unique environment. Mexico's run has not been built on luck or narrow escapes, but on a collective strength that has left their opponents searching for answers. Each clean sheet adds another layer to the challenge England now faces, a reminder that this team is not just defending a fortress, but actively defining the standard for the tournament. Mexico have barely left the Azteca since the opening whistle of this World Cup. 3 of their 4 matches so far have played out on the same patch of altitude-stung grass, each one ending in victory. South Africa, Czech Republic, and Ecuador all swept aside. This isn't just home field advantage in the abstract. It's a daily routine. The players know how the ball skids and dips here, how the air feels in their lungs by the hour, how the crowd's roar swells and ebbs with the rhythm of the match. Every corner, every free kick, every sprint is rehearsed in the real conditions that will decide the next round. While other teams cycle through different venues and climates, Mexico have built a rhythm and comfort inside these walls. Each match at the Azteca has sharpened their understanding of its quirks, turning familiarity into a living, breathing edge that grows with every minute played. Thomas Tuchel stepped in front of the microphones just hours after England's narrow win over DR Congo in Atlanta. His message was stripped of the usual optimism. You cannot physically adapt to the altitude in 4 days. It's just impossible, he said, his words cutting through the noise of tactical speculation and media bravado. England had left Atlanta's humid lowlands barely 300 meters above sea level and landed in Mexico City with only 3 days to prepare for the Azteca's 2,240-meter elevation. The contrast was not just in scenery, but in biology. For Tuchel, This wasn't about attitude or effort. It was about the simple fact that the human body cannot adjust to such a drastic change in oxygen levels in such a short window. He called it a huge advantage Mexico will have, and there was no sense of exaggeration in his tone. The squad's schedule left them with less than 72 hours to recover from their last match, acclimatize, and find their rhythm in air that thins every breath and slows every recovery. No amount of preparation or mental resolve could rewrite the rules of physiology. England would have to play at the Azteca before their bodies could even begin to adapt. June 22nd, 1986. The Azteca's memory of England is frozen in a single unforgettable afternoon. That day, Diego Maradona scored 2 goals that would echo across generations. The first, the hand of God, slipped past Peter Shilton and the referee's whistle, a moment of controversy that still stings. 4 minutes later, Maradona weaved through half the England team, delivering what would be called the goal of the century. Argentina 2, England 1. The defeat ended England's World Cup run and left a scar that never fully healed. Now, 40 years on, the same stadium opens its doors to England again. No other venue in world football holds such a personal shadow for the Three Lions. For every English player and supporter, the Azteca is not just another away ground. It's the site where hope was stolen and brilliance became heartbreak. At just over 2,200 meters above sea level, the Azteca doesn't just test skill, it tests biology. The air here is thin, with each breath delivering less oxygen to muscles and brain. For players used to sea level, the difference is immediate. Heart rates spike, legs feel heavier, and recovery between sprints drags on. High-intensity pressing, a hallmark of England's recent style, becomes a gamble. The body's oxygen stores deplete quickly, and sharpness fades with every repeated burst. Even the ball behaves differently. With about 20% less air resistance, long passes and shots fly faster and farther, sometimes overshooting their intended targets. Goalkeepers trained to read the ball's arc at home now face unpredictable movement. Crosses dip late, shots arrive a split second sooner, and reaction time shrinks. England's current squad has almost no recent experience at this altitude. The last time they played above 4,000 feet was in South Africa at the 2010 World Cup. There, England drew 1-1 with the United States in Rustenburg and suffered a 4-1 defeat to Germany in Bloemfontein. Both matches exposed the cost of unfamiliarity, lapses in concentration, misplaced passes, and a visible struggle to maintain intensity for 90 minutes. The Azteca's environment is more than a backdrop. It's an active opponent, one that punishes every moment of hesitation and every ounce of fatigue. September 6th, 2013 stands as the last time Mexico tasted defeat in a competitive match at the Azteca. That night, Honduras overturned a deficit to win 2-1, and the fallout was swift, and Jose Manuel de la Torre lost his job before sunrise. Since then, the stadium has become unbreakable ground. Nearly 13 years have passed, and not a single visiting team has managed to win a competitive fixture here. 26 matches spanning qualifiers, Gold Cups, and now another World Cup have all ended without defeat for Mexico. The memory of that loss has faded into legend, while the unbeaten run continues to grow match by match. Danger at the Azteca extends beyond the pitch. Lightning storms have become an unpredictable threat capable of halting play in an instant. Under FIFA rules, a single lightning strike within 10 miles of the stadium triggers a mandatory 30-minute stoppage, and any new flash resets the clock. These are not hypothetical risks. After Mexico's round of 32 win over Ecuador, 4 fans lost their lives during chaotic celebrations in Mexico City. The tragedy forced authorities to launch a full safety review at the 85,000-seat stadium, tightening crowd controls and emergency protocols. In this environment, even the weather and the weight of the crowd become part of the contest, adding another layer of uncertainty to an already volatile occasion. No nation has ever beaten Mexico in a World Cup match at the Azteca. That is the line England now stands before, one that has never been crossed, not by giants, not by underdogs, not by anyone. On one side is Mexico, undefeated in 10 World Cup games on this ground, a team whose every pass and sprint is shaped by altitude and memory. On the other is England, still searching for a first major trophy since 1966. Arriving as one of the tournament's favorites, but forced to become pioneers or face elimination. The entire weight of history, atmosphere, and expectation presses down on this single contest. This is not just a match. It is a test of whether the past can finally be rewritten. Now the world watches as England faces a challenge unlike any other. Altitude, history, and a stadium where defeat feels almost inevitable. In a sport measured by moments, Azteca's record stands as a warning. Some grounds do more than test skill, they test a nation's nerve. What do you think? Can England break the spell?